right. So my name's Chad Dempsey. I am the head band director at Edinburg North High School in Edinburg, Texas. And I have a little story to tell you, but I'll hold off on that.
Awesome. Okay.
And I'm Jason Rogers. I'm the head band director at Edinburg High School in Edinburg, Texas. I've been here since 2003, going on many, many years.
Awesome. Okay, so how did you guys meet?
So we met in 1993 or 1992.
92.
But we actually ended up doing drum corps and started in 93, 94, 95. Someone took 96 off.
Not me.
And then we aged out in 97.
All right.
Yeah, I actually remember when we went to that first regiment camp. It was the Kennedy Middle School. I think if you watch like the regiment website, they have like a whole history of it. I've never been anywhere really by myself. And, there's this guy walking around, he knows where everything is. And, like, man, he must be a vet or something like that. No, it was Chad, man. And he helped me. I gravitated to him right away. This is where you eat food. This is where we go get this. This is all that. So it was like right away I had someone to protect me and help me and kind of get me through that crazy audition process as a 16, 17-year-old, man. That was something,
So were you guys in the same section?
Yes.
stood next to each other.
Okay.
From day one.
Okay, so are you both from the Edinburg area?
No, definitely not. I'm from Mississippi, actually. I was born in Arizona. My dad was a construction worker, so we moved, everywhere the work was up until I was in about 5th or 6th grade, and I ended up in Mississippi. My band director there marched the Memphis Blues and Brass Band in the late 70s, early 80s. And he's the one that got us attracted to drum corps. And oddly enough, my first show was watching 89 Regiment or 89 Finals in Kansas City, of course, where I immediately was like, Phantom's that's my jam. So, PBS, watch the videos, blah, 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 all those years. And then by the time it came time to try out for a corps, I picked up a flyer at, I think it was like the regional one. It used to be in Nashville. And I picked one up and I said, well, let's, what the heck, man, me and a friend of mine, we tried it. And that's how we found Regiment. And then that's where Chad and I met. And then of course, as it is with drum corps, we met Brian Hildreth, who is one of the most amazing persons we've ever been around. And he got me a job down in Edinburg at Edinburg North High School. And then when he left to Churchill, that opened up a position. And hey, Chad, what are you doing? And that's how we kind of got down here together in Edinburg.
Yeah, what he said.
Okay, so I think that my favorite thing about the two of you is that your connection, your relationship throughout the years. And so I wanted to kind of bring you guys together just because Chad's story currently is just inspiring and awesome. And Jason, I know you've been a big part of just being super uplifting and super supportive. So Chad, tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I don't even know where to start, but it's June 28th is when I was first diagnosed, I guess. And I had the choir teacher. It's like, you're awfully quiet, and I just kind of put my wall up and said, yeah, that's fine, because I knew there was something wrong. And then my wife said, like, you're really quiet. Are you mad at me? And it's it was really tough because I had to say, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I had no idea. And that's not like me. And so
we know.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, right. So Saturday I decided to go run 3 miles, and that was fine. And then we went over to my sister-in-law's house, and we just it didn't feel right. And so we went to an standalone ER, and it was empty. It was 2:30 in the afternoon, like no one's there. It's a Saturday. And the guy was like, okay, well, let's get you in. And I think it was like 45 minutes in terms of everything. I mean, it took some time to get processing. But again, it was like 45 minutes and he had me diagnosed and everything. And so he came in and said, you have almost a 4 centimeter tumor in your brain. And so that's what we did. And I was like, okay, sure, let's do that. Why not? And not really thinking about what that is. And so poor guy, he is like, okay, so now what do I tell him? And he's like, do you like music? I'm like, okay, sure, like I like music. And so, he brings his phone over and he hits play, and like no context, of course, like A, he tells you like you're gonna die, and B, like, oh, you get no context. So but he starts playing this thing and it's like really cool, like really good. And about a minute and a half in, I said, this is you. And he said, yes, it is. And so that context of everything, of how this all started, goes to that, for that. And so, he was telling me about the guy, he and his buddy did this, and they hired in a saxophone player. And then he had his piano player, who he studied with. And so he's like, yeah, his name's David Musketic. And I'm like, okay, I know that kid. He's first call in Austin, and he's big time. And he was actually in Europe at the time playing with Scott Peasley's Modern Jukebox Band and taking pictures and everything. And so, I mean, it was just a cool story, and that we interacted with that. And that's
And
where
David actually student taught with me about 5 or 6 years ago at Edinburg High School when he was finishing up his degree at UTRGV. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the craziness and how both of your lives have intertwined all the way up until this point, to me. And that's why I wanted to talk to the two of you, because there's just something really cool about the way the universe has constantly put you two in the orbit of each other, to the tune of that you guys are teaching in the same district, and you're still best friends, and you're still like involved in each other's lives. I think that that's something to be said that goes beyond anything that we know, like as humans, in terms of like music did this.
Yeah.
Right. Like that love of music and that love of, wanting to perform, and how all that. So,
And what music brings into your life, sharing that experience and those, those qualities and values that we, we worked toward, and then obviously shared, it's a bond that's unbreakable.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Chad, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I could tell stories forever.
No.
Like forever.
Just
and I don't like
just a couple.
It's, I think the key is that we have found a like person, and someone that's like us. And it just, we go without saying, we go without doing, we just enjoy it. And we appreciate the kindness,
Yeah,
and the graciousness, and appreciate all the other kids. And so like, it's not a big deal to us. But I think it is. But I don't think it is, because that's just kind of who we surround ourselves with.
and you say, we're involved, shame on us because we don't hang out as much as we should, or much as we always do. But, just having each other there, and knowing that he's like a mile and a half from me, with his house, and my house is there, and that, we're there. Like, it's just a comforting, a security blanket, I guess is a good way to put it, that's always there for you. And, for me, that's just priceless. And it's just a warmth, just caring, and just, just a lifelong passion of something that's more than, that just has a deeper meaning, that, like Chad said, you can't describe it. It's just what it is. And we appreciate that. And we definitely don't take that for granted, with what our relationship is and continues to be.
The bromance of all bromances.
Yes.
That's right.
So Jason, tell us a little bit about your marching show this year.
Oh, my show is actually entitled Once Upon a Time in the West. It's obviously Western themed. It's based on music from the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, the Marconi, the XC of Gold. The Troopers are doing a fabulous job with it this summer. Wow.
They are.
unbelievable show. And then we are doing the Curial Call of the Wild is our second tune. And then we're doing a House of the Rising Sun with radio exit music for a film from Westworld. That's kind of our ballad. And then we're doing like a percussion entertainer into, of course, the Magnificent Seven. I mean, what Western show doesn't have something that's Magnificent Seven related? And, you know, you'll see in our show props, 10-foot cacti everywhere, a bunch of Southwest landscapes, and then, you know, panel fronts and things like that. All the guard costumes are definitely Western related. And we're actually wearing theme tops for our show this year. It's kind of, it seems like that's what everyone's doing. So why not us, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, you know, it's been a great experience so far. I mean, of course, we're only a week in with learning drill and so forth, but so far the response with the kids, they love it. They appreciate working on it. They're always positive about it. And our little parent performance we had last week was fantastic. You know, so it's you know, post COVID, it's a lot of fun. It's you know, you kind of realize what you didn't have, what you lost, and then what you're gaining by being back and appreciating what you have. And I'm super thankful for the kids that I've got, the parents I've got, and you know, oddly enough, my son's a freshman this year, so that kind of adds a whole other landscape to what we're trying to accomplish and the things that we're doing with our goals. So
Both of you have kids in band.
yes, we do.
I have two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, you know, you have the Western landscape with my show, and then actually at our UIL, I think Edinburg North follows us, and you'll just go a little bit East Coast to find the sunflowers with the Fields of Gold with Mr. Dempsey.
Yes, Chad, tell us about your show.
It's about sunflowers, and it is picked back in March of all things. And it was like, we were talking about this, and I said, Andy, we need to do sunflowers. And he said, done. It was that simple. And so everything leading up until this was about sunflowers. The first movement is no sunflowers except for one sunflower prop and one little prop. And the second movement has 212 sunflowers in the movement. And the third movement has 152 props on the back sideline. And there are 3 gimmicks, so I can't give those away, but it goes back to one solo performer who is my daughter, and because she's like trained up, and so it will be very special. And it'll be very, I mean, you know, whatever it is, it'll be very special because it's my kids, it's our kids, and there's some tricks.
Of course.
There has
But
to
it is Make Our Garden Grow. And so that is obviously a huge thing for this. And then we're doing Hinastera, which is the very first piece Jason and I marched. Yeah, I know, right?
Land workers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And then Make Our Garden Grow is something we've actually done in the program, and so it's build and build and build and build and build and build, and then it opens up to 152 props and 60 or 58 swing flags, and then it goes into more stuff. And so again, it's special, it's unique, it is one at a time, but it is going to be very fun and very special.
Awesome. I am super pumped to see both of your shows, and just to be able to share your relationship with everyone, because I think it's so, I mean, everybody has those people out there that they connected with in drum corps and connected with in band, but the fact that your lives have been so parallel to the point of which the opening of your show, Chad, is the piece that you and Jason march together. I mean, those things are just so incredibly aligned. And so when choosing things and people I wanted to talk to for creating content for these BOA regionals, I had to talk to you too. So Chad, give me your favorite Jason memory that's PG.
There's none.
None, zero. You know, I mean, I can't even, like, I don't recall, because and especially now, like, I just think forward, and we're 36 days in, and so I really don't think backwards at all. I know I should, but I don't, just because I have to live 1 hour at a time.
You do?
So that's a good and bad.
I hear
So
you.
sorry, Jason. I have no stories.
No
None.
memories. It was the PG thing that got you.
It was.
Yeah, that was definitely it.
I have a couple of really good memories. I one for most I shared earlier when we first met. At our first audition camp. But for me, I remember in 1993, it's a free day, and we are actually making the Ornaments in Brass CD, which was I think every drum corps got one Christmas tune or something like that to make for that. And oddly enough, our piece that year was Fire of Eternal Glory, and we were in this auditorium, and making, we spent all afternoon doing that, and then we did Amazing Grace. And just, I don't know, just something about it. I mean, Chad and I, we always stood together in the arc. We're just next to each other, just going through all that. And then afterwards, we had a free day in Boulder, Colorado. And we were walking up and down the street, and it was me, him, and Heath Hopper, another good friend of ours, just kind of, spending time throughout that. And it was just, you realize at points like that, just what, it's just a perfect day. You're making music, you're with friends, you're doing things that you dreamed about when you were younger, and you're seeing all these things come to fruition. And then again, to think that, when my dad died about 10 years ago, the piece that he requested at his funeral was Amazing Grace, which is what we recorded that day, sitting on that stage. Every time I'd go home, for Christmas or the holidays, he would always play that CD for me. And he was always just so proud of that. And, for me personally, my first experience with music was with him. And to have this, and again, my first thought when you have a piece of music is that day, hanging out with Chad and Heath, with that. But that, there's several memories, with our kids being born, or, weddings and things like that. But that right there, two 17, 18-year-old kids, just making it work and figuring everything out, and just, wow, this is a good day, and I know, like Chad talks about, what a great day today was, and inspire moving forward. And that's definitely one of the first that we had, of many experiences together.
Yeah. I can totally picture you two just walking down the street in Boulder. Oh, walking down the street in Boulder, just checking it out and talking about dude stuff.
Right. I mean, it may be a foggy memory for me. Chad may be like, I wasn't there.
I bet your sock tans were amazing.
Yes, they were,
course.
especially Jason's. Jason's was the best.
That's right. That's right. Yep. I had the king of tans.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else for us?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So I like to give this.
Yeah, I see
Will
that.
do. Yeah, I mean, it's real. And
Yeah.
so, like, I had surgery, and
Yeah.
we're gonna win.
And
We
the
are going
fight
to
and
win.
the fight continues, and we are all here, and we got your back, man. Yeah.
Yeah. If we could have just an ounce of the positivity, and just inspiration that Chad has, I think that's more than we need, because he's an amazing guy to tackle this head on like that, and just to really give us something to look up to, something that's inspired to be. And to any situation in life, if we can handle it with such grace, such dignity, such pride, such passion, that it's a life lesson, and it still continues to this day. I mean, Chad's been teaching me since I was 17, and he's still giving me lessons. So honored to be his friend and his mate, his bromance.
I love that. Well, I love the both of you tons, and I appreciate you taking some time out to talk to me. And I'm there with you, Chad, and I love you so much. And Jason, I cannot wait to see you again and hug you, and both of you. And just know that I'm always thinking of you, and I'm really excited for the world to know about your bromance, because I feel like it is a very, very cute South Texas bromance.